So, Patty, when you're trying to find a destination to take the RV and you just don't know where to go, well, I think today's guests are going to be able to help us out with that. So let's talk to them in this episode of Travels with Delaney,
the podcast.
Well, hey, everyone. We are excited about today's episode. You've heard us all summer mentioning RV Destinations magazine.
Right. Absolutely.
And we thought, instead of just talking about the magazine, why don't we bring in the people behind the magazine? And so we're really excited to have Randy and Caly Behymer. Did I get that right?
Behymer.
Behymer.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was pretty close.
Pretty close.
That good German name.
Yes.
All right.
So we're so excited to have you guys join us today and talk about the magazine. But first, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourselves and how long have you been RVing? And
All right, thank you. You want to take that?
Sure. So we've been together for 12 years and we've been RVing for 12 years. So we literally, when we first started dating, we bought a little teardrop camper probably way too early in our relationship. It's honestly a miracle we're still together because we bought that early on and we started with a teardrop and just fell in love with RVing and got a pull behind trailer and then got a Class C and then got our first Class A diesel pusher, got our second Class A diesel pusher, and we've just made the progression. And I keep looking at him going, how much bigger can we go?
Yeah, and it's funny because I say this in some of our videos, and we've got a podcast, as you know, I've said this many times, but I grew up in the Boy Scouts, and so camping to me is, sleeping beside a fire in a sleeping bag or in a tent. And so she always says she's camping. I'm like,
we're totally
no.
camping.
I'm like, you are pulling the living room down the road is what you're doing. That is not camping.
Here are my points to how we are camping. We have an electric fireplace, so I can turn that on and we can sleep by the fire.
nice.
There you go.
Or we can walk outside and have a campfire and be camping by the campfire.
It's still an ongoing dispute that we haven't been able to settle yet, but we're still working on that.
I'm winning. I'm totally winning at this.
So you went from a teardrop,
Yep.
which is what we started in
with.
Okay.
18 years ago. And but we haven't made it up to a Class A.
Not yet.
We've only been in travel trailers and fifth wheels.
Okay.
And so you're currently in a Class A then?
Yeah,
we are.
That's right.
41-foot Class A. We've got a Winnebago Journey.
Nice.
Yeah. So very happy with it.
It's a game changer when you go to drivable. It really is. We I won't elaborate long on this, but we had some engine problems that was all under warranty.
In 2020.
Freightliner covered it. It was shortly after we bought it. Some things went wrong, and but anyway, so we had all these trips planned for the magazine out to Glacier, and we're here in Kentucky. So that's a big trip for us, and so we went out and bought a bumper pull and drug that thing all the way out to Glacier. It's like, I'm never going to go back.
We're never doing that again.
Like, I will never do that again. I will get out of RVing before I'm going to bumper pull something ever again.
We had 2 dogs and our cat in the back of the truck, in the back seat of the truck.
Sure.
And my poor cat was just like, let me out of here, because it was 8 and 12-hour days driving, and poor guy and poor us, poor everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, fifth wheel's not as bad. I certainly would consider a fifth wheel, but we could pull in with the tote attached to the motorhome and be disconnected, set up, and everything. Probably in about 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I mean, easily. So yeah, we're a little spoiled, and I don't see us getting rid of the motorhome anytime soon.
No.
Okay.
I hope not.
No, and if you love I don't know why we have never done a motorhome.
I don't know.
We were in a 35-foot fifth wheel back in 2008, and we had it for 8 years, and then for some reason we decided to go back into a small towable.
Right.
And I think we had about 4 of those, and we just this spring went back to a fifth wheel. Now it's only 27 feet. But I'm like, why did we ever leave fifth wheels? Because they tow so amazing compared to a trailer. Yeah.
Right.
And they've got so much space in them too. They're just easier to tow. There's so much space in them. We'd always said if we ever went like full time, we would probably do a fifth wheel just because there's so much more like living space in them.
Yeah. When you have a 45-foot fifth wheel, you've got 45 feet of living space.
Yep.
But when you have a 45-foot motorhome, you're having to give up maybe 3, 4, 5 feet. Feet. I mean, the seats do turn around and become part of the living room in most coaches, but but you're still giving up some space there in the front. So arguably, you get more room out of a fifth wheel for sure.
Well, our pups love the fifth wheel. It gives them more space.
A lot more space for our dogs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all about the dogs.
Seriously, it is.
What I like about the motorhome, and if you're on the edge about buying a motorhome, any of the listeners out there, get one, because I drive. When I'm driving, I'm king. I say, babe, will you give me a drink? Babe, will you make me a sandwich? And the only time we got to stop is for fuel, or if I've got to use the restroom. That's it. Everything else we keep rolling.
It's true.
There you go.
I've always thought that would be the best part of a motorhome is being able to get up and make sandwiches and things like that.
It is. I mean, it's a bit of like an acrobat act, because
I bet.
like 3 points of contact at all time. But I get back there and heat stuff up in the microwave.
It gets real tricky if I say, "Could I have some over easy eggs? Do you mind?"
I'm like, they're going to be scrambled.
That's funny. Well, so you've been RVing for 12 years.
Yeah.
And then how did the magazine come about?
Yeah. So, one of the things that we have done, like a lot of people, was there was some magazines out in the industry that we had subscribed to and had them for several years and had collected them, because there was always at least one destination in them. And we had this big collection of these magazines, and we were out hiking one day, and I was like, we have all these magazines, and one day, babe, one day we're going to just grab a stack of them and we're going to do all these trips. Like, we're going to do all these destinations. They just sound fun. And we started talking more and said, man, wouldn't it be great if there was a magazine solely dedicated to destinations for RVers? And we're like, that'd be great. And then we started researching it and realizing there was nothing out there. And so we looked at each other and said, why not us? Why don't we come out?
There were several magazines out there that might have had 2 destinations or even 3. The one she spoke about that we belonged to would have 1. It would generally be in the center page. And I would literally run out to the mailbox, grab it, open the center page, read the articles, shut it, never look at another thing. Right. Because the rest was, here's Jayco's new models. Here's how you clean out a black tank. Here's how to take. I didn't care about any of that stuff. I just wanted.
I want to know, where can I take my RV? I can figure out how to fix it or what product I want in the black tank. But for me, it was like, give me some new destination that I've never heard of, that I've never been to, or even a new way to visit a destination that we've been to that maybe we've not thought of visiting it that way. You know?
Right. Yeah, we of course we'll write about the Yellowstones and all that, but anybody can Google what to do in Yellowstone, so we try not to feature them a lot. We want the hidden gems. We want to give you inspiration of things that you might not think of, like the campground in Bonita, Oklahoma. We were talking about offline in the issue that you have there with you. Someone might not think, well, hey, there's this beautiful campground that's right on the lake in Bonita, Oklahoma.
So, did you have a background in publishing then?
Nope.
Okay.
No, we both have an investment background, and I do have photography, so I had that going for me.
And I have always written. I have been working on this novel that is about half to 3/4 finished for about the past 20-25 years.
Oh my gosh.
So maybe one day I'll finish this novel.
She was always a gifted writer, and that's kind of where it all started. But yeah, we as publishers, we made about every mistake you could make out there. And what I learned is you got to be able to pivot quickly as a small business. And so, we actually have started and operated 2 or 3 small businesses, and that's allowed us the opportunity to be able to, go here. But we really felt that was a need here. And, when we built the magazine out, we were like, what do we want as an RVer? What do we want to see? It's not like we're trying to cram something down people's throat, but like, for instance, I was just talking to this gentleman in the publishing industry, and he thought I was crazy. Patrick, if you don't mind, show the back page of that issue that you have, the back of the cover. So that is like the most premium ad spot in a magazine,
and
right there, the back cover. And I was talking to a publisher today that said, we are crazy for not putting an ad on there, but I just felt like it looks cheap. It cheapens the magazine.
Right.
And so we don't do that. We wrap the cover all the way around to the back to make it feel like more like a journal than a magazine.
Well, it almost looks like a book also.
Yeah. Right. And for those of you listening to the audio version, I am showing the back of their magazine, which is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful. And it's a gorgeous photo. Yes. Yeah. Not a single ad on that back page.
Kind of mystifying. It's beautiful. Yeah.
So that's actually Caly. She's actually the cover model there.
I am.
Nice.
I'm handing out autographs for $5 a piece.
So I've got a ongoing thing with our writers, and many of our writers. We've got 25 writers stationed all over the United States and up into Canada, and we've got an ongoing bet that if they can beat me for the cover shot, I'll give them $100 and put them on the cover. And so now I've got the advantage because when I'm going into a location, we still write one section of the magazine, the featured destination in the magazine, and when I go in there, I know I'm looking for a cover shot. So a lot of times they're just giving me pictures, don't think they're competing, but now they're starting to compete because I'm starting to talk a little dirt.
Right.
Like if you can beat my picture, I'll put you on the front cover. So. But I made Caly hike 6 miles in a dress to get up there.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I wasn't in a dress, but I did take a whole backpack. I had like a whole face of super heavy makeup on. I had my hair done up underneath my hat and then brought clothes back with us and then kind of snuck off to the side and put the dress on, fluffed up my hair, lipstick, and then all of that for the cover shot. Yeah.
And it was hilarious because we had these, I had all this professional equipment with me, and then all of a sudden I noticed, I looked around and there was a group of Asians there, and they started taking pictures of her. Like, why are they taking pictures? They just started taking all kinds of pictures.
Yeah,
and then finally some lady said, "Is she a model?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're trying to get a cover of a magazine here."
And it was like click, 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 click. So who knows, like where I'm posted?
So
there you go.
Caly was eating all that up. Like, not only am I a cover model now.
I had my moment, and it
absolutely
it was great.
Awesome.
So when did you launch the magazine?
So the magazine was officially launched. So all this, the hiking she was talking about, where we discussed it, we did a feasibility study and all that occurred in 18 and 19, that time frame. We launched July of 2020. What a great year to launch a magazine. I mean, RV sales were up 400%, so I can't arguably say that was a bad year.
Right.
No.
I don't know. We gained a lot of subscribers that year. So July 2020, and we, as you know, we've talked offline, we launched as fully digital. We thought that was what made the most sense. RVers, we are kind of nomadic people, and just thought that it'd be easier delivery if I can shoot it right to your iPad or your phone or your computer.
Yep.
Yeah, and I have the app, so that I get the digital right here on my smartphone, which is great. And we've never even asked you this before, but I'm curious. So this is the most recent issue. What issue number is it?
That's
18.
issue
18?
No, that's it. Yeah, I'm sorry. She's right. Issue 18. Yes.
I am.
18. Okay.
Pretty much all the time.
I'm already working on issue 19. So I'm like, all right, that's done and in the books. I'm on to the next one.
So out of all the issues, is there one in particular that you're the most proud of that you guys have made?
Honestly, for me personally, probably issue 1. And simply because that was like our dream coming to fruition.
Sure.
Like saying, we're doing this. This is actually happening. We're putting a magazine out there, and we put our heart and soul. And, we wrote the majority of issue 1 because we didn't have anybody else at the time.
We had pseudonames
we had
because we didn't want anybody to know that we there's only 3 writers. So there's some phony names on there, but for the most part, I think we had 2 writers. We had Haley, and I think we had
Haley and
oh man,
Alexandra.
There might have been 2 other writers, but we wrote most of the articles. And I'm a terrible writer. I'm the last person you want me writing any articles. Now we've got a great editor, and she made me sound amazing. I think she just rewrote it for me, is what she did. But so issue 1 definitely is very memorable. Yeah. But you know what? I really like the issue that you've got in your hand. There's something about reaching having that print version. I love, we've been trying for years to get out to the wave. That's the wave where that picture's taken. And you have to have a special permit to get out there that you apply through the National Forest
Bureau of Land Management.
Bureau of Land Management, BLM. Yeah. So, and we finally got out there after every single day paying $10 after like 3 days, 4 days. We finally got in, and so we were really excited. And I had already figured in my mind that that would be the cover. And so because it's print, we've kind of stepped up our game. And I feel like you get street cred as a magazine when you're in print, right?
Right.
I just think that with digital, if you're digital only, I think you don't have to overcome certain things that you have to with a print magazine, like negotiating with printers, having to negotiate with the post office.
Oh my gosh, who knew that was such a process? Like, I have now a best friend at the postal service. Like,
That's
we're
true.
BFFs.
That's
like,
true.
Zach, I love you.
Yeah, I mean, our mailing costs, when you got that, we just got approved last week for a special, what's called a periodical permit. But to mail that to you, it cost me $2.45.
Wow.
Wow.
Now, 2 weeks ago, we got that periodical permit, and now it's going to cost us 74 cents.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
little things like that help out tremendously.
And things that you just, like, we had no idea getting into publishing, everything that was involved, just everything that's involved. So it's been a massive learning curve, but it's been a lot of fun. And just, again, to see our heart and soul and our dream and our vision in now paper in people's hands. And it was so exciting, being at the Hershey RV show and having people come up and say, oh, hey, I am a subscriber to your magazine, and I read about XYZ campground, and I actually stayed there because of what you guys wrote about. And, oh, we read about this trip, and that was so great. And we listened to your podcast, and and it's just like, oh my gosh, this is really
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. It's so cool.
I mean, it makes us all, we all become, we all travel so much, we become storytellers. And I think she kind of touched on that in the letter from editor in one of the magazines. But we become storytellers. And what do we all love to do? We all love to sit around the campfire and share stories about places we've been. And so that is kind of the dream of the magazine.
Yeah, the magazine is being the storyteller in the RV community. Sharing somebody's amazing experience and amazing story that another person can go enjoy and create their own story and their own memory and to share with somebody else. That's really what it's all about.
Well, it's just such a beautiful, I love magazines because I teach and I like actually having the hard print.
Yeah.
And I love table books. So this is just perfect for me. It's beautiful.
Well, thank you. We really poured our heart and soul in it. But you know what? We might put 60 hours a week into this magazine. And honestly, I don't feel like I'm working at all. I mean, because I just love it that much.
That's awesome.
I mean, I'm exhausted. I'm going to bed at 9:30 most days because I just can't even keep my eyes open.
Who's he kidding? It's like 8 o'clock. We're watching TV, and he's out cold.
That's true. But man, we just absolutely love it, and we just really want to. We listen to our subscribers a lot, so if they give us feedback, this magazine's for them, and so we want we put our dream into this, but now we're definitely wanting to hear feedback from everybody, and we take that into serious consideration when pivoting. We call it pivoting with the magazine.
Sure.
Well, I tell you what, one of the things that we've noticed about the magazine already, besides the amazing photography, is unlike most magazines where you go through it and it's just ad after ad after ad. There's very few ads in your magazine.
And we did that on purpose for that reason.
We most magazines, whether it be in the RV space or wherever it be, usually run anywhere from a 50 to 60% ad ratio to content. So they're running 50-50 ad to the content or 60-40 ad to content. And there's various reasons for that. To make the magazine profitable. We charge more for our magazine, and we know we do that. Most of our subscribers know why we do that. Because our last magazine, the one that you have in your hand, had 7% advertising in it, and we do that on purpose. And we really feel adamant that we can make a profitable company without being tied to advertisers.
And the advertisers that are in the magazine, we're very, very picky about. We want to make sure that we're not filling the magazine with things that aren't pertinent to traveling in the destination. So you're not going to see a lot of products about, black tank deodorizers or snap pads, things like that. It's more like podcasts. And
Harvest Host, RV Life, things that kind of help you get to the destination, all that. And that's not saying we would never do. We've got this gentleman that we're reviewing a product for right now. And I struggle a little bit. I'll be honest with you. The guy's a super nice guy. I think he's got a great product and he wants us to put it in the magazine, and we may end up doing it, but it's, it's a product of how to clean the front of your RV, and it's kind of out of the line of what we normally do. So, I don't know if he's a nice guy. I'll probably end up doing because he's a nice guy, but I try to stay away from those.
Do you know him?
I'm thinking as you talk, I know who you're talking about.
I saw the looks.
Yeah. So, and if it's who and what I'm thinking of, it's actually a very good product that we have done some videos on. So
okay.
I could be totally off base. Yeah, we'll talk after the podcast.
Yeah. We'll see. They shipped us some goods, and we haven't tried them yet, but we're.
It's too cold. Right. I don't want to get out there and try them yet. I'm too cold.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious because I know you said that you will periodically talk about the Yellowstones.
Yeah.
But that you love finding the hidden gems. Is there a hidden gem like where you came across it and you're like, this is going to be this has to go in the magazine?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay.
All the time. We are constantly inspired ourselves, and that's our tagline: be inspired. You see it right there on the front cover, be inspired. And we are inspired all the time. So Caly reads all the articles. She's the editor-in-chief of the magazine, so she does the final edit after our editor gets done with it. And she I don't get to I read them when they come into print. I have it in my hand. That's usually when I read them, now that we have print, and that's what I like to read it when I got it in my hand. But we're inspired all the time. Yeah. She's like, I read this article about this place or this place, like Sunapee, New Hampshire. Never heard of it. But, we read the article like, this is really cool. So it's working on us, our own magazine. It's doing to us what we designed it for our subscribers.
Yeah, and I think that's what's great because, again, as RVers, I mean, it's easy to always go back to the same places we've always been. But that feeling you get when you find one of those hidden gems,
something that's just awe.
Yeah. And that feeling is, and so you're helping us as RV travelers, find those, because sometimes that's the hard part. It's like you want to try something new, you just don't know where to go.
Right. And like you said, it's so easy to get kind of stuck doing the same thing because at least you know how long it's going to take to get there. You know what to expect once you get there. Even though you want to try something different, it's like, well, where do I start? And how do I start that planning? And what's it going to be like really when I get there? And what about campgrounds? And so we try to answer those questions. And our writers and us too are very, very good at, when we're writing about a destination, talking about the availability of restaurants and attractions and campgrounds and what it's like driving around the area, so that it really is like a destination planner, so that as an RVer, you can sit down and go, this is great. I'm going to go to anywhere town, USA. And now I know what to expect when I get there.
Yeah. Right. In fact, when we started out digital, and we still have this dream, we want to be a depository or repository. I'm not sure what's the appropriate word.
Just of destination it's not a content. Suppository.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I was thinking.
but we want to directly compete with TripAdvisor. We want to be the TripAdvisor for the RVer. Yeah, we want everybody to come to our site to get information. We've got a lot of free resources on our website. We are now starting to do these top 10 things to do in different areas. We're starting to blanket all of North America with these top 10s. They're free PDFs that people can download right from our site. So we're really trying to give back to the community. A lot of destination content.
That's awesome.
And like Patty, I don't know if you didn't get to hear it yet, but I was listening to your guys' podcast just recently on an area we love going to.
We love this spot.
Beaufort, South Carolina.
Yeah.
And, I think most people, they go to Hilton Head.
Right.
Which is wonderful.
But they can't say Beaufort.
That's right. and it's just, in your podcast, you just point out all the great things to do and
there.
Eats and so that's what I love is there's nothing wrong with the big popular places.
Right.
But sometimes when you get off the highway and you go exploring and you're just making it so much easier. So
absolutely.
Yeah. And that's really what we're trying to do. And even with the popular destinations, like on our top 10s, we've got, Nashville and Savannah and Washington, DC, but we still try to our writers and us are very good at picking different things to kind of showcase, to give you an idea of what to do other than the major
Broad Street,
the major touristy things that you would 100% know to do anyway.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we are absolutely thrilled to be subscribers now, and we chose because this is one of the things I love is you give people options on the subscription side.
We do. We give you lots of options. So we have digital subscriptions, we have print subscriptions, we have digital and print subscriptions available. We're quarterly publications, so we're going to be in front of you 4 times a year.
We also have a special annual edition. That's where we. Do you have the annual edition? Did I ship that?
I do have the.
Oh, you do? Okay. Yeah, so we put that out once a year, and that's our top picks of the year. Now, that's a little bit bigger of a magazine. You probably noticed that right away. It's a bigger magazine. There's no advertising. There's a lot more pages. I think 10 or 12 more pages. I think 12 more pages. And so that really showcases a lot of the photography and everything. And in fact, we're working with our writers right now to put together the 2024 special edition. So we reserve the best photography, the best of the best for that issue. That comes out once a year too. But we do have a VIP package that includes everything. You get the special edition, the quarterly edition, digital, all the back issues and everything.
Back issues are digital only. But that's a great resource to have.
I can tell you this has been very popular in our RV all summer because we kept it. Because again, it's so beautiful. Why would you not keep this out on your table? We don't have a coffee table in our fifth wheel, so we just have a table. But anytime somebody would come over and they would look at it, and I'd say, you can open it, and they'd start looking.
Pretty soon they're in.
They're just like, what is this? So
they're hooked.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine anybody flipping through one of your magazines
and not stopping to read something.
Yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely amazing.
Well, we've often said that, or at least I have, like if somebody throws one of these magazines away, I'm going to be upset. Call me and I'll buy it back from you. I honestly think they're too beautiful to throw away. I mean, these are like little journals.
Like you said, it's just beautiful. It reminds me of Vermont. There's no billboards.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take away from the beauty, and that's beautiful.
I think she just compared your magazine to the state of Vermont, and that's probably not a bad thing. We love Vermont.
Especially this time of year.
Yeah,
with all the leaves changing.
So the way I've never even verbalized this to Caly, but the way I kind of see those two magazines is I see the quarterly one as being like our workhorse. That's our workhorse where you're going to get all the destinations, all the nitty gritty things. And then that special issue is where we just come and showcase some beautiful places that we have here in North America, and
stunning photography.
Yeah, you'll see a lot more. You'll see a lot more full page spreads in that magazine because we're really trying to showcase the photography work.
Well, if anybody wants to get a subscription, they would go about it how?
So you can go out to our website at www.rvdestinationsmagazine.com/subscribe, and you'll find all of the different subscriptions that we have available. And we have it broken down to digital only, print only, and then print and digital, so that you can go into each selection and really find a subscription that works best for you.
And we're excited that we just put up on the website about 2 weeks ago gift subscription. So if you got that RVer friend, you can't figure out what you want to give them, buy them a subscription. Awesome.
Get them a gift subscription. I cannot talk.
It's a tongue twister.
Yeah, it is. I was struggling with it too.
Gift subscription.
We know what you meant.
We know.
Well, we're pretty excited because if you're listening to our podcast or you're watching the video version, you guys have been, number one, thank you for watching and listening. But you guys are so kind because you have offered our subscribers and viewers and listeners a 20% discount off your subscription of their choice. You just need to use the code TravelDelaney20. And I will put that in the show notes and the video description. So Patty, I can't imagine why somebody would not do this.
No, I don't.
I mean, you're going to get this amazing magazine and you're going to take 20% off your subscription, find amazing places to go RVing. I mean, this is like a win-win-win.
A triple win.
A triple win.
And let's throw in another one in there too. It's like a win-win-win-win.
Win-win-win-win. Well, I can't thank you guys enough for coming on, and we would love to have you back in a future episode.
Yeah, we would love to.
So we can dive into like a specific destination.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, so thank you so much. And
thank you.
Is there anything you'd like to share before we leave?
More than anything, we just want to thank you, Patrick and Patty, for helping us and helping us get our magazine out there and to get our name out there and to share our dream with your listeners. And we just hope to inspire people, really to get out there and try a new destination, try something you've never thought of doing before, and take that trip, because we get one shot at this life. Live it up, have a little fun, and try something new.
Absolutely.
And some of our riders have, we've got one rider that has 3 kids and 2 dogs, right? Gwendolyn, and she writes, a very kid-specific articles sometimes. And so you don't necessarily have to be a retiree with no kids to enjoy our magazine. This is for everybody, really. We've got a different article that's going to suit.
We've got a car camper too. That's one of our riders.
Yep.
That's nice.
Well, that's awesome. Again, I can't imagine why anybody would not want to subscribe. So it's a wonderful magazine. We can't thank you enough. And we also need to thank our good friend and producer, Jim Kuzman.
Thank you, Jim.
Jim is the person that always makes us sound great.
He needs to work on the look.
I know if he could make us look good in these, but he says he's working on it.
Take 10 years off.
Yeah, can you take 10 years off of all of us, please?
So, but thank you, Jim. We appreciate it. And thank you to Randy and Caly for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us on the show.
Thank you so much.
Until next time, everybody, we'll see ya.
On down the road.
Bye.
Bye.
Travels with the lady. We'll see you on down the road.